Hello, everybody. Hang on a sec. Um, um, um. Hello. Just checking we're all live. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. I'm just double checking everything's working. Just having a little double check, making sure we're all good. Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? I'm just here. I'm here. I'm checking. I'm checking. I'm checking. I think we'll be good. Yes. Okay. I just need to change that tiny little thing here. Sorry, guys. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. I'm just sorting my stuff out. I'll be with you soon. I'll be with you soon. I think we're all good. I think we're all good. Let's go in to the Zoom room. Hello. Right. I'm back. I'm in the Zoom room now. Jacob says hello from Portugal. And we sorted this out last week. Jacob is not Portuguese. Jacob is at school in Portugal in an international school in Portugal, but it doesn't matter. And have we got any Portuguese people in? Have we got? I don't know how far my tentacles reach. I don't know how far people. I think most people are in the UK. Is anyone? Is anyone else in? So this is just in the Zoom room, but is anyone else coming in from abroad? Who else is watching this from abroad? Hello, Francesca. Hello, Liz. Hello, Amber. Sophia. Sienna. I'm very good, thank you, Sienna. Thank you very much for asking. Fraser, Sophie, Seth, Anushka, good morning. Alice, Helena, Ruby, I'm good. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you very much for asking. Anna, Logan, hello, 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 everybody. And Isabel, sorry. Let's not forget about Isabel. Hello. And Andrada as well. Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody, and good morning from Amber and Ariana. Hello, hello, hello. And Iris as well. It's a full house today, guys. We've got Iris as well. Lovely to see everybody here. Well done for rocking up on a Sunday and doing some maths. I'm always gobsmacked that anyone shows up to do maths on a Sunday, but it's lovely to have you all, Tabitha and Ellie as well. Right, should we crack into it? Let me just close this tab. Let's jump into it. Okay. So I'm gonna close this stuff down. Daddy, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's close this stuff down. Okay. Let me. Sorry, I just had a little my brain stopped. Let's let me share my screen. I'm going to start with a great calculator hack. You guys are going to love it. I know that's what a lot of you guys are here for. Calculator hacks, and we're going to jump into some maths. Let's go. You guys can see me and hear me? Yes, see me and hear me fine. Let me know in the chats. Just to remind everybody how we're doing this. First time on the webinar from Ayiza. Ayiza. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Please let me know how I'm pronouncing it. Welcome. For those of you watching for the first time, welcome, welcome, whelping. Whelping? I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. Let's see if I can tackle some math. Whelping. Isa. Isa. Lovely to have you on board. Okay, right. Let's jump into it. So we're going to start with the calculator hack for Isa because she's her first one. And so why don't we all blow Isa's mind with a calculator hack that some of you might be familiar with. If you've not seen me do this before, this is about to blow your mind. If you have seen me do this before, if you've come to these webinars for a while, you'll know this. You'll know this is my bread and butter. These marks are, you're going to get full marks on these questions anytime you get it on your GCSEs. If you come and study with me, I'm going to show you all the hacks. This is one of the easiest, simplest hacks you're ever going to know. All you have to do is get a calculator that has a 991 on it, Casio 991. Okay. If you have the CW, I won't go into this every week, but you have to go to a slightly different bit. You have to go equation and then solver. If you have the EX, let me show you how to do this. It absolutely blows my mind that you can get away with this in an exam, but let's do it. You're going to go to menu. You're going to go, if you've seen me do this before, just get your calculator out and practice. It's such good practice. We're going to go to equation. Okay, equation func. We're going to go to similar equation. Bang. Number of unknowns, 2. It's always 2 when you're given 2 to 4. 2 just means there's 2 letters that we don't know. Bang. And we literally punch this thing in. 7 equals 2 equals 36 equals. Don't make a mistake punching this in, guys. That's the only thing I'm going to say. If you make a mistake punching this in, I can't help you. Just go slowly. Just go slowly. Even if you've got, I know a lot of people with dyscalculia might think, okay, sometimes I just get numbers the wrong way round. You just take them one at a time and make sure you're punching them in and double check 1 6, 1 6. Okay. Then you hit equals and it literally gives you the answer. It literally gives you the answer, guys. Okay. It's just bonkers. But you come in here, you go x equals 5, hit equals again, and y equals a half. But that's not the end of it, okay? I know some people say, yeah, but Francesca's saying you love calculator hacks. Yeah, me too. Yeah, Seth said you've done the hack. Yeah, exactly. Seth, I'm coming to this. Okay. Seth is saying I've done the hack, but how do I go get the marks? Okay, this is the juice here, guys. This is the juice. This is how do we actually go and get full marks? This hack is not going to get us any marks by itself, but what it's going to do is pick up on all your silly mistakes. There's so many mistakes you can make in simultaneous equations questions. So you whack this into your calculator just to double check that you got this right. I like to do this first, just get it down so I know the answer. And then it's like, right, how do I show it now? Okay. So there's two ways to do simultaneous equations. Let me just get out of this a sec. There's what if you have a letter completely by itself, like just the x like that, what you can do is move the 2x to the other side. So you have x equals something, and then swap this x for what that x is equal to. This is called substitution. So what you're doing is you're swapping out a letter for some more letters. I actually think this is the best way to do it. And not in this question, by the way, because the x isn't by itself. This usually, in my experience, the substitution method is you make fewer mistakes. But people aren't taught this method very much. But also, if you're doing higher tier and you get those nasty simultaneous equations where one of them is a quadratic, you put a squared on it, for example, this is exactly how you do it. You do this substitution. So that substitution is how you do it if you have a letter by itself. However, do you see we don't have any letters by themselves? We just have numbers in front of all of them. So that method does not work. Now, most people, I would teach them both methods and they pick the one that works for them. But here you cannot use that method, so you have to use what's called elimination. And this is the technique that most of you guys are probably taught at school, which is you try and get the numbers the same. So you're looking at these numbers or these numbers, and you're trying to get them the same. Where, hey, we already have these ones the same. So this is like quite rare that this happens. Usually this 2 wouldn't be like, let's say it was just y or something, and you wanted to use this elimination method, you'd have to times all of these things by 2 so that these two were the same. Okay, then you could use what I'm about to show you. But you don't need to do that here because they're already the same. So do you guys know? Let me know in the chats. What am I going to do to both of these equations to eliminate the y's? Barnaby's asking, how do we do the hack? Can I just show you quickly again? You go to menu on your calculator. You go into equation. Okay, equation func, similar equations. Hit 1. Number of unknowns is 2. Bang. And just bang. So for those of you, for premium members, if you actually want to go through this more slowly and you want to see me do this again and again, you can go into my calculator hacks. You've all got access to my calculator hacks course. Every single calculator hack is in there. You can go find simultaneous equations, pause it, and I've written out all those micro revision cards for you guys to just like memorize it yourself and to help you guys. So that I would recommend you guys do that. So what are the rest of you saying? Take it away, subtract, add them. Some people saying add them, some people saying subtract. Okay, let's talk about this. So basically what you do when you get to this point here, you either add or subtract. I remember being taught this at school and they were like, when the signs are the same, do this. When the signs are different, you do that. And it's just like, well, but then in your head, you might just get them the wrong way around. I think it actually helps you to understand what's going on here. What you're trying to do is eliminate. You're trying to wipe out one of these letters, okay? And you're wiping out or eliminating the ones that are the same. And the way you do it is they like cancel each other out. So you're going to either add or subtract these. So for anyone that said add them, if you added these together, you'd get 4y. It's still there. It's still pestering us. We don't want it there. We want it to go away. Do you see, if you minus these from each other, they would wipe each other out. 2y minus 2y, and they disappear. So the rule is if the sign is the same, you subtract. Okay, and if the signs are different, you add. Now you can either remember that, or you can kind of try and just like if you understand what we're doing here, I think that does help. It does actually help you to be like, so if I just subtract if I just did the top one minus the bottom one, let's call that one and that two. And if I did one minus two, I'm going to go 7x minus 3x. So that's going to be 4x. I'm going to go 2y minus 2y. They wipe each other out. I'm left with nothing. And then I'm going to go 36 minus 16. You can use your calculator if you want to, okay? Doesn't matter. It's a calculated paper. If you make mistakes doing that, there's no shame in picking up your calculator. Okay. Now, whenever you have, um, this is how I do equations. Whenever you have two things stuck together, you slide one underneath. So all I'm doing here is taking this 4 because it's stuck to the x. You can't pick it up and minus it from both sides. That would be a mistake. You slide it underneath, bang. So it goes x equals 20 over 4. So that's all I'm doing here, right? So I take the 4, chuck it under the, sorry, I call this chucking and sliding. I call this sliding. You slide it underneath, so you get x equals 20 over 4. And again, you could stick that into your calculator if you wanted to. This is going to be equal to 5. And look, you just double check, are they the same? Yes, okay, so I didn't make a mistake. It gives you that confidence in an exam to be like, oof, okay, good, 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 good. At least I got that one right. Now you've got to go and find what y is. This is a slightly annoying thing about these things. You've then got to take this and stick it back into one of these equations. It doesn't matter which one you stick it into. You might as well just stick it into the one with smaller numbers so you don't have nasty calculations. So I'm sticking x equals 5 into that equation. And this, I think this, if so, I do this on the platform again for premium members. There's a thing called course overview, and it's where I teach the entire GCSE maths course as quickly as I possibly can, and I'm doing whole topics in like 10 minutes, and I do algebra in 10 minutes. Okay, and the thing I teach you in algebra, obviously I can't do the whole of algebra in 10 minutes, but the thing I teach you is like there is one thing that is more important than anything else in the whole of algebra, and it's this thing called substitution. So it's when you have a letter and then you swap it out for a number. And for those doing higher tier and I guess even on foundation you have to do this, but when you get a harder version of this, it's when you take a letter and swap it out for like like a combination of letters and numbers. So like some like nasty stuff. So the simple version of substitution is you got a letter, you swap it out for a number. The hard version of substitution is you have a letter, swap it out for some nasty stuff like 3x plus 5 or something like that. And there's only one thing I recommend you do every single time you do substitution. Let me know in the chats. For those of you that know me, will know what I'm about to say. Anybody? What's the one thing you have to remember every time you substitute? No one's got it. Brackets. Stick brackets, 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 brackets. Just use brackets. So whatever the letter is, you swap it out for whatever you want to substitute it for, but put brackets around it. And like some people are like, so here, for example, I'm putting x equals 5 into here. And I know some people are thinking, why can't you just go 3 times 5 plus 2y equals 16? Okay, and this is okay. This is fine. This is fine. And this is correct. The reason why I like to use brackets is just because it works every time. If you understand what that means and you understand that to substitute x is 5 in, that's 3 times 5 or that's 15, then fine, you can do this. This is fine. But this is just so it's just so useful to always use brackets. It means you're never going to make a mistake when you get minus signs. You're never going to make mistakes when you get like complicated things. And your calculator can always do this for you. So even if you didn't know what this meant, you could even go 3 brackets 5, like if you weren't sure. That's 3 times 5 is 15. So, okay. So this is now 15 plus 2y equals 16. And now, for those of you that don't like solving equations, this is why the calculator hack's so powerful. It's like you know what the answer is. So you've got to do some stuff to there to get y equals a half. So if you make a mistake, you'll know because you won't get y equals a half. So the first thing that we do is we take the 15. You sort of work from the outside in. So this y, we're trying to get y by itself. That's what solving an equation means. And you've got the 2 and the 15 are in the way. Now, you can't slide the 2 underneath. A lot of people do that. That's a very classic mistake. That's kind of what we did before over there, but you can't do that here because it's not just 2y. It's 15 plus 2y, and you have to start from the outside. So we're going to subtract that 15 off both sides. I'm not going deep into solving equations. This will just take the whole of the lesson. I'm just showing you the kind of high level stuff. 16 minus 15 is 1. And now we do exactly the same thing we did over here. This kind of sliding. and we just slide that 2 underneath. But I know this is correct because I know what the answer is. So if you made a mistake and like, or whatever, if you made a mistake, you'll know it. And that's how you're always going to get full marks on questions like this. I mean, just as even if you're complete, if you are like completely stuck on solving equations, there's two things I can just tell you now that will really help you. The first thing is my hack for solving equations. Again, I'm not going into this properly, but let's say you just didn't know how to solve this. Actually, sorry. No. I'm not going to show you this now. I do have a hack for how to solve any equation on your calculator, but you've sort of already solved it there. If you're completely stuck here and you just have no idea how to do any of this stuff in an exam, like what I'm here to do is to give you guys marks as quickly as possible. And so a lot of people find this chucking and sliding business or solving equations quite annoying. If you're completely stuck there, it is possible to just say, like, make it look like you just found these numbers by trial and error or something. Okay, so like go and learn how to do this stuff, sure. But if you have a test tomorrow on simultaneous equations and you don't have time to learn that stuff, you can just kind of pretend that you guessed these numbers and just start writing some stuff out and be like, oh, look, it works with x equals. Like the whole point of this is if you put 5 into that x, and you put a half into that y, that this equation would then be true. Like we could check this quickly. 7 times 5 is 35. 2 times a half is 1. So you've got 35 plus 1, which is equal to 36. Correct. Down here, you have 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 times 1, 2 times a half is 1, so 15 plus 1, and that is equal to 16. Correct. This is the whole point of solving any equation or solving simultaneous equations, is that your answers will work in the original equations. That's the whole point. You're trying to find, like, the whole point of a simultaneous equation is like, what are the values of x and y that make these equations true? And we found them. Okay. So that's the question. Let's move on. Do you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to do something slightly different today. Usually, what I do is I go and get a whole bunch of stuff that I want to teach you, and I just teach it to you before 1:30, and then we hop over to the Zoom room. So just to remind everybody, there's some people watching this free, and there's premium members in the Zoom room who are voting on stuff. What I thought I'd actually do is just go straight into the Zoom room and get people to vote on what questions they want, just so you guys can see, and new free members can kind of see how it works. So I'm going to do a poll now. Let me just stop sharing my screen for 1 second. I'm going to do a poll seeing what questions do you guys want me to go through. So the options are between 1 and 18. Okay. So just very quickly, I have those in the Zoom room. I'm just going to vote very quickly on which questions they want to go through from 1 to 18. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see. I think it was 18. Yeah, because my next webinar at midday, I'm going to be doing this stuff, the second half of the paper from 19 onwards, exactly the same format. But now we're just going all the way up to 18. So I want to know, what questions do you guys want help with? And then I'm just going to do those ones first. So keep voting, guys. I don't have time to go through the whole thing and show you, but I just wanted to do something slightly different today so you guys can see how it works. Okay, so 18 and 17 have the highest. Okay, let me just write these down here. So 18, then 17, then 60. Okay, it's always it's the back end stuff. Then 16, then 14. So these are the questions I'm going to go through today. Then 6. 6 is getting a bit of hate. Then 15 is also getting some hate. And then we also have a bunch of people wanting help with, let me just quickly do this, guys. This just takes 1 second. I think 11, 13, and 9. So then 11, 13, and 9, I'm going to try and get around those questions. I'll try and give you some quick tips on those. And then 12, 7, 10. But I probably won't get round, and then finally 1. I probably won't get round to these ones. Okay, I'm going to try and go here. It go as quickly as possible. Oh, this is nice and simple, actually. 18, 17, 16. Okay, right. Thank you for that, guys. That's really helpful. Thanks for voting for those things. Okay, so 17 and 18 are way out ahead, and 6 as well. So you guys definitely. Oh, 6 is now leapfrogged. Anyway. Oh, no, it's fine. Anyway, you guys get the point. Let's jump into it. Thank you. Thank you for those that voted. Okay. So I'm going to start with question 18, 17, 16. Cool. I just think I always do what I want to do on these half an hour sessions. I think it'd be useful to do what you guys want to do. Okay, so everybody wants help with this. No one knows what the hell's going on. Um, I'm trying to think if there's a hack for this. It's not really. There is a sneaky hack actually. There is a sneaky hack here. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a calculator hack to do this. So, okay, the roots. Let me talk about roots. I can't believe I only came up with this the other day, but the roots are basically if you have a graph. So this is going to be some sort of. It's going to look something like this. Okay, it's going to end up being some sort of quadratic, which is like a smiley face or a sad face. The roots. If you imagine that this is like this is the ground, the roots is where the roots start. So, like, imagine this is a tree and this is a tree. Okay, this is a weird tree. It's like two trees that are joined together. I have actually heard that trees do this. Have you guys heard this? Like a forest of trees, there's like they're all holding hands under the soil. Oh, lovely. Their roots are all holding hands and they're all like touching each other. That sounds a bit weird, but no, they're all like they're communicating with each other and they're sharing nutrients and stuff like that. This is not a biology lesson, okay, guys? I'm not very good at biology. But the roots are where the roots begin. It's where their roots start. So if you know what a graph looks like, very often on these sorts of things, they will draw the graph and then say, use the graph to estimate the roots or find the roots or something. It's just what are these values? Okay. Now, the difficult thing with this graph is that we actually don't know. We actually don't know what it looks like. This is, by the way, this is very much higher tier. Okay, so if you're doing foundation, you they could ask you this question for foundation, but just like this. Um, I'm going to show you. How shall I show you? I'm going to show you how to do this properly, actually, and then I'm going to show you the hack. If the question was this, what you do is flip the sign. Okay, so +1 goes to -1, and -3 goes to +3. That would be your answer. Um, if you're doing higher tier, you also need to know how to deal with these, and all you do is divide by that number. Okay, so you divide by the number that's there. Okay. So can you see I've automatically got the two answers. It's there and there, okay? But I understand that's a bit difficult or a bit weird for some people. You might forget that. That's kind of that's kind of how to do it properly. Um, let me show you a hack. Let me show you a crazy hack. So the hack is that you can solve any equation on your calculator. Okay, this is an equation. And what I recommend you guys do is if you're stuck on a question, I always say ignore the bit that's getting you stuck. Okay, so ignore. So ignore. If you don't know what roots are or whatever. The only thing you need to realize is the question is asking for both roots. So the question's asking for two numbers, okay? But you could just blank this stuff out and be like, right, I have an equation. I have an equation, okay? If you ever have an equation, you can use the solve thing on your calculator, and this is bonkers that you can get away with this, but you can. Okay. You literally type this thing in. So brackets 7x, I'm going to use this x up here, 7x plus 1, close brackets, open brackets, 2x minus 3, close brackets. Now, do you guys remember? If you have the CW calculator, you have to do this you go to menu, equation, and then solver. Okay, so you do it through there. But in the EX, you have to get this equals by going alpha equals. Okay, and then you put 0 there like that. Now you just go shift, then calc, then equals. And I know this is weird, but for those of you on, but for premium members, you guys have got access to this calculator hack. So just go watch my solving equations hack. Otherwise, you want to go shift. So look, you go bang, top left, then you go this one, you go diagonally down. Ignore that. This will be different for all of you. It might say 0, it might say something else. And then you just go down to the bottom and hit equals. Bang. And it solves it for you. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, that is annoying. I'm only going to cover this quickly because this is a 1 mark question. Okay, this is annoying because it gives it to you as a decimal. What you could do is double check these values. So, okay, 3/2 is the same as 1.5. You could check that. So it's not that one. And this is basically -1/7. So do you see this answer here is -1/7. Advanced hack here. I'm only going to cover this quickly because I do want to actually cover a few more questions. But advanced hack is if you ever want a second number, you have to hit left or right, go back in and do shift solve again, and then change the starting value. So I'll just pick a positive number now that's like nearer one of the other ones. Okay. And then you go equals. And now do you see it solved it and found the other one? It's 1.5. So this is a very sneaky, very, very sneaky hack. Okay. But if you solve this equation using your calculator and just change the values, so you don't have to hit left and right, sorry, you can just go shift solve again. You could do that again, and you then change the starting value. So if you wanted another, so minus 5, if I try to solve this equation with minus 5, it will find the solution or the root that is closest to minus 5. Here, bang. So it finds the negative one. But if I did shift solve again and chose like 10, a positive one, this is going to go find this root because it's closest and there's only two. Okay, bang, 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 bang. Do you see? Um, Super sneaky, very sneaky actually, but that's how you do that question. Okay. I'm just going to smash through as many of these questions as I can by half past, and then I'm going to go to your questions. So the premium members, I know some of you are asking questions in the Q&A. I'm going to get round to all of your questions. I just want to see how many of these can I smash off to give those watching free just as much value as I can. So 17's next. I'm also sorry, I'm not taking loads of time to write out the micro revision cards. I really think you guys should be doing this. How could we do that here? If your foundation, actually, let me just do this. Roots, if your foundation or higher, actually, you could write this. Roots of this equals 0. And on the back, just go minus 1 and 3. Brackets, flip the sign. Roots are solutions, by the way. So you could write, if you prefer the word solution, you can think of that. If you like this idea of a root, like where the roots begin, it's also the same as a solution. Anyway, or if you're advanced, if you're feeling up for it and you're higher tier and you're feeling advanced, you can do the same question, but just put this down equals 0, and on the back you want to go minus 1 over 7 and 3 over 2. And if you want to say why, so if you want to say why, you can say flip the sign and divide by this number. It's called the coefficient of x, but you might say like divide by the other number. Okay, something like that. I'll just take a picture of that because we're going to move on. So for those of you that want to make those micro revision cards, just a reminder to everybody, the whole point of my micro revision system is that we revise as we learn. Then we don't have to revise. Okay. Anytime you learn something and you're like, oh, I didn't know that, get a flashcard. It has to be double-sided, and you want to make it as quick as possible so it takes you 10 seconds max to revise. Every single card that we make together, these micro revision cards, should take no more than 10 seconds to revise each one. And then if you've only got a tiny bit of, like, if you've got a little bit of time left at the end of your homework or your prep session or whatever, and you think, oh, I can't be bothered, I really want to go outside, I'm just going to do 2 cards. That's 20 seconds of revision. But the fact that you've only written down the cards that are really impactful for you means that that revision is super efficient rather than doing what your teachers tell you, which is like, guys, just flick through your textbook for 2 hours and then maybe some of it will go in. I'm telling you, none of it will go in. Okay, not a single bit will go in if you just flick through your textbook. This is how to revise micro revision. Okay, let's go. Question 17. Okay. This is a tough functions question. Okay, so this is only going to be for higher tier. Apologies if you're doing foundation. Shall I find one that's actually more? No, okay, I'm just going to do this quickly. If your foundation, just sit back and chill out for 2 minutes. I'm going to do this very quickly. Okay, let me just get rid of this. But I want to show you guys how to get unstuck on maths questions. So many people look at this question and they're like, right, there's some function here, it's a quadratic, and I'm not really sure why they've said this. And then Jenny, okay, who's Jenny? I wonder what she's up to. F of 10, 2 times F of 5. Where the hell have these numbers come from? What is why? Yes, I understand that 10 is 2 times 5, but like, how does this relate to this? I'm completely stuck. Is she correct? No idea. Probably not, by the way. If they ever say, is she correct? And your answer is like, yes. Do you really think you're going to get marks for that? Okay. Almost always the answer is no, she's not correct. And then you've got to figure out why. Um, but look, this is what I do when you get stuck on a maths question. Cover up the bits that you hate. Okay, ignore the bit that's getting you stuck. This is the first step of my stuck mode. Okay, for all values of x, I don't understand what that means. Doesn't matter. Ignore it. Jenny said Jenny doesn't matter, guys. I'm sorry if your name is Jenny. It's a lovely name, but in this question, Jenny doesn't matter at all. You're not going to get marks for writing Jenny. You're going to get marks for doing some math. Okay, now must equal. I don't understand. I don't understand any of these words. I just like, let's just look at the math. F brackets 10. Okay. Now, if you know anything about functions, this is probably the first thing to know about these functions. What this means is you're putting 10 in where the x is. So you're basically putting 10 in to where those x's are. That's what f of 10 means. Then there's this thing, 2 times f of 5. So let's just quickly go and do f brackets 10. Now this is where, do you remember what I said earlier about substitution? The one thing you need to remember is brackets. This is where it comes in handy. All I'm doing is writing this function out, but swapping out the x for whatever's in that bracket. So I'm just going to put a 10 in and a 10 in. And then you go to your calculator and you literally punch it in exactly as it is. And you don't have to think, wait, am I timesing by 10 squared or am I timesing by 10 and then squaring it? Your calculator does all of this stuff for you. It does the bid mass, whatever for you. So you literally punch this in. I'm not being clever here, really. I'm literally just copying that out and hitting equals. Okay, there you go. 268. And then there's 2 times f of 5 business. Well, let me firstly just find what is f brackets 5. This is exactly the same thing, but I just swapped the 10 out for a 5. What is this? You can even press left, 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 and just go and swap that for a 5. You guys know about that? You just go press delete, delete 5. Just saves you a bit of time. Press equals 63. Okay. Even if you got stuck there and just thought, I don't know what this question is asking, but I've just done something, you definitely get 1 mark. But now they're saying 2 times f of 5. Well, f of 5 is 63. So 2 times f of 5 is 2 times 63, which is 126. You could use your calculator. And now you can sort of uncover some of these things because now you've actually done some maths. And the question is like, is this equal to 2 times f of 5? Well, no, that is not equal to that. So no. There you go, full marks. And do you see that? Because I just blanked out all the bits that I hate, they're just basically irrelevant. Like they're basically irrelevant. Like bits. Sometimes it might be relevant, but probably not. Like this is how to actually get marks on stuff. Okay, blank out the bits you hate. Just go look at the numbers and do something. Can I give you one more tip? Okay, last tip. If you're ever given a bunch of numbers here, fine. This one because I know people want to help with 16. How many ways can you do it? Just times them together. Okay, just times them all together. So there's 3 starters and 10 mains and 15 desserts. Just times them together. Okay. Or in football, if you guys like football and you go and you guys have got okay, there's like um th this is actually a bit more complicated with football. Mm, this is a bit more complicated with football. No, I don't think so. Yeah, sorry. I'm just thinking about if you start taking into account different people's positions or something like that. But if you like, there's 3 goalies in a team, there's like 10 defenders, there's 15 midfielders, and there's like 5 attackers or whatever. How many different teams, like how many different things could you put? You just times them all together, and that's like you'd be amazed actually. So I don't know what normal, I should know more about football, but like you guys could go and do this yourself. Like I know, I don't know. So if you hate maths, sometimes a way to tackle it is to like give you guys questions about topics that you're interested in. But like, I think you guys can kind of see through that sometimes when I'm like, how many different combinations are there for your favorite football team? It kind of gets you involved. I guess it does. I guess it does. And you're like, oh, wow, there's 2,000 different things. If you do this with the actual numbers for your favorite football team, you'll be like, oh, God, there's actually loads. Um, but sorry, as I was saying, I actually think sorry. I shouldn't have thrown this in at the end. I've chucked this in because I'm trying to make you guys be like, oh, look, I can address this with football. Actually, sorry, this is actually more complicated with football because you're not just picking one of each. Sorry, that's actually bad. If you went through each position, okay. So if you did this, but you said goalkeeper, left back, centre back, right back, okay, then this would work. But this doesn't work because there's more options. This is actually like an A level question, sorry, because there's like 4 defenders, 5. Okay, sorry guys, I went down a football rabbit hole and I immediately regret it. Let's go back to this. Literally though, this is so much easier. This is just literally times them together. So how many options are there? 2 times 14 times 9 times 8. That's it. Let's do this and then we'll finish. Bang, 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 bang. So there's this many options. And then here, oh, 1 labourer and 2 plumbers are on holiday. Okay, well, that means that the labourer's gone down to 1 and there's 2 fewer plumbers, so 6. So there's now 1, 14, 9, and 6. Times those together and then you get those options. Okay, so it's called the product rule for counting. Such a boring name. Or, as I call it, times it together. Right, let's just times all together. If you're ever given those, how many are there? Just times them all together. Okay, work out how many options there are for each one, times them all together, and help yourself to full marks. Look at that. I mean, that's 4 marks on a real GCSE higher tier paper. And you're just timesing numbers together. There's just okay. Let's make one card and then we'll stop here. So the card that we're going to make is just method. Um, don't write down all of the words in there for your card. Just simplify it. Just be like, just cross that out and be like, you could even just cross that out as well and be like, how many ways? Like, just how many ways? And on the back, just go like 2 times 14 times 9 times 8. Just times them all together. Take a picture of that because for those watching free, we're going to stop. I'm going to stop there and just hop into the Zoom room and carry on doing exactly this, but going through all the next questions that you guys had questions for and go into the Q&A and actually answer your specific questions as well. So for those watching free, thanks for joining. Same time next week. I'll be back. But yeah, if you want to sign up to premium, it's this. You get more, you get, you can ask me questions. You get access to all my calculator hacks, all the exam techniques, every topic on the syllabus, and you get lots more webinars you can come and join. So if you want to sign up to premium, go for it. It'd be lovely to have you on board. Let me